Up next, we have a presentation by Mr. Robert Paddock. He's the founder and CEO of Valencia Institute. He's going to be speaking on online education sector, the new student experience. He's the co-founder at Get Smarter, executive director. I would like to welcome Mr. Robert. Hi, Robert. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. It's lovely to be on the line with you today. So I'm going to be speaking today about the customer experience in the education space. And now this is something that in our education sector is often a point of contention. Because when we think about our students and we think about our learners, we don't necessarily think about them being a customer that we need to serve and that we need to please and that we need to provide an exceptional experience to. And I'm here to say that I think that it is long overdue for us to reorientate our thinking in the online education domain specifically, but in education more broadly, towards seeing our students as customers. And now that doesn't mean that at every single touch point, our job is to make their lives easy and to please them. Of course, one of the foundational elements of education is that it is a journey, that there is structure, that there is a process, that there are deadlines and so on. So there is a balance that we need to keep. But I think that the education sector has erred too far on the side of seeing these individuals as simply as stakeholders, as opposed to customers who we need to provide an exceptional service to. By a very quick introduction, my name is Robert Paddock. I have previously founded a business called Get Smarter with my brother Sam. This is a business that by the time that I finished had educated over 200,000 students from 154 countries around the world and maintained an average graduation rate of 92%. We worked with truly the world's leading universities, MIT, London School of Economics, Oxford, Cambridge, and so on. And we've had the great privilege of growing a business and delivering high quality education at scale. I'm also an executive director at a business called Hubble Studios, which is an online education agency that provides on a fee-for-service basis bespoke online education services to great universities and corporates throughout the world. More specifically today, I'm here to talk to you about the Valencia Institute, which is a global online high school that partners together with the world's leading education institutions to transform physical limitations into digital opportunities and to provide high quality, affordable education to students all around the world. We have a number of partnerships that we've established to date. We have a partnership that's been going for a while with St. Stithians, being one of the top schools in the country, and we deliver an online school in collaboration with them. In addition to what we do purely online, we also have a number of what we call boutique campuses, which are physical spaces that students who are studying online can come into and experience some of the social benefits and some of the extracurricular benefits of blending the best together of what online and the flexibility that it creates, as well as what in-person activities create. And here you can see just some pictures from our students who are in both our Johannesburg campus as well as our Cape Town campus. In addition to that, we've done a lot of work in what we call micro schools. These are low fee or no fee blended learning micro schools where we're taking existing physical infrastructure. What you're looking at here used to be a storeroom, and we're turning them into thriving digital learning spaces. Again, bringing together the best of what online can deliver, but then merging that with physical spaces. So this is part of what we've been doing to date. More recently, we have launched the University of Cape Town Online High School. Now, this is a fully fledged online high school that is backed and run in partnership with the University of Cape Town. And really what I want to speak to you today about is this UCT Online High School and some of the principles that we've employed as it relates to customer service and how we think about the learning experience in its totality. So I guess, first of all, a couple of principles that I think are important for us to discuss just in terms of the learning model. And then we're going to dig deeper into some of these elements, specifically around the caring teachers and support coaches, as well as the data-driven support. But one of the principles when we think about customer experience, I'm sure that this has come across a number of times today, but we're talking about the end-to-end experience for our stakeholders and for our customers. Now, in our case, our customers are both the students as well as the parents. And I think this is something that's often also not understood or not necessarily appreciated, that there can often be multiple customers per product line. You really need to get under the hood of who you're servicing and what your bespoke customer service strategy is for each one of your stakeholders and or customers. In our case, it's certainly both students and their parents. In terms of the learning experience, we offer a program that allows for personalized pacing, and this already is a major departure from what regular schooling offers. What regular schooling offers is that you come in, you join in a particular grade level, and you move through your subject matter in a cohort model at exactly the same pace, regardless of the degree to which you may have actually understood and mastered the concepts or not. So, I mean, one indication of this in South Africa is that we have an average grade level understanding that spans as much as 5 levels. So you can be a grade 7 level mathematics student in South Africa, have a grade 2 understanding of mathematics, but still be progressing with that grade 7 cohort, because there's not enough capacity in the system, and the system hasn't been designed in a way that allows each individual to have their own personalized schedule, which allows them, to the second point, to master what's being taught. And this is one of our big issues in the education system more broadly. If we don't allow that level of personalized pacing, that means that if you need some more time with mathematics, that we can spend that time with you, we can provide you with one-to-one tutoring services in order to get you up to speed. You're going to fall a bit further behind every single year. However, if you can go much faster, we also enable that. So this level of personalization for me, when we talk about products and when we talk about customer experience, we need to think about the degree to which this can be personalized. And so for us, personalized pacing as well as mastery-based learning are really two sides of the same coin, and absolutely essential to delivering a high-quality learning experience and a high-quality customer experience. Now, the next point speaks to what we call our caring teachers and support coaches. Now, I'm going to move forward very, very quickly, because the main points that I want to speak to you today about are on the caring teachers and support coaches, as well as data-driven support. And I'm going to really focus the rest of the remaining time that I have on these 2 points. All right, so one of the key diagnoses when we're talking about education is, at least in my view, is that teachers perform too many jobs simultaneously. Teachers are expected, as you can see in this mapping, expected to be lesson planners, course material developers, learning designers. They need to deal with scheduling, attendance tracking, identifying at-risk learners, setting assessments, grading assessments. This list really just goes on and on. And one of the things that we've found is that when you have any particular function in your business where that function wears too many hats or is expected to perform too many jobs, first of all, it is very difficult for that person to have all of those capabilities at a very high level. And second of all, it's much harder to put clear SLAs and KPIs in place and then hold those individuals accountable for actually meeting their targets, meeting their objectives. Now, this sounds very obvious, but I would encourage any one of you, regardless of the sector that you're in, to have a think about your org chart, to have a think about the individuals who are on the front line in any form or function with your customers, and ask yourself the question, is there a way that we can further delineate this into its component parts? Because the more that we can specialize in these functions, the more we can recruit the right people with the specialist skills to do every one of these functions, and the more that we can put these processes under management. Now, importantly with this, it's not just about delineating the tasks in terms of people, it's also about asking yourself the question, what is it that perhaps technology could do that historically people have done? And now in this case, what you see here is that there are many areas where, for us, as an example, when it comes to things like scheduling, this used to be something that humans and teachers needed to do. This now is something that technology can automate in order, to identify at-risk learners, i.e. learners that are starting to fall behind with their studies. That historically has been something that teachers need to kind of get a gut feel. I can see that Johnny in the corner is starting to disengage a little bit, or they haven't handed in their assignment, and they have to take quite a gut feel, intuitive approach. Whereas now, when we've got all the data at our fingertips, we can prescribe what these at-risk behaviors are and have dashboards that allow us to identify those individuals in real time and proactively intervene. Things like classroom management, setting assessments, grading assessments. There's a lot of elements now that if we design it as such, we can make sure that we not only delineate that, but that we also allow technologies to do an increasing amount of the work. There's a number of downstream implications to that. The one is that you're able to offer better quality at scale. And this, I think, for all of us needs to be a constant frame of mind, is how do we do what we're doing and do it at a high level of quality and at scale? And by my estimation, the only way that we can think about this systemically is by making sure that technology is the backbone of the service delivery. Let me carry on with this just to give you a sense again on the left-hand column, we're looking at traditional education and just this incredibly burdened role of a teacher. And on the right-hand, you're looking at the way that we further delineated this within the UCT online high school context, both between people and technology. So when it comes to things historically like diagnosing learning gaps, increasingly we're finding that technology can do this role. Remediating those learning gaps is now a partnership between technology and the teachers. But again, what you can see through this very clearly is that we're freeing up teacher time to do the things that only teachers can do. And then we're further delegating those responsibilities to specialists. So things like parent engagement, role modeling, pastoral care, motivation, all of that now can be done by individuals that we call mentors. And this again becomes a partnership between technology, teachers, mentors, and other individuals. And this, I cannot stress enough the importance of looking at your organizational chart and thinking to yourself, are there ways that we can further delineate this? And then asking the secondary question, once we've delineated those functions, are there elements that technology can increasingly do for us? It has a profound impact on the degree to which you're able to offer high quality customer care, customer support, put your processes under management, and ensure that every single thing that you do at your organization is able to be measured and managed. Which really takes me on to my next point. There's the old adage that you cannot manage what you can't measure. And I think for many of us that we find that you might have one or two exceptional people that are in your support staff teams, in your customer facing teams, and you kind of can leave it to their devices and they'll always do a good job. But it's very difficult to rely on that as standard. And so by putting processes under management, it makes a massive difference to your ability to deliver quality services at scale. So what you're looking at here are some anonymized, I've obviously taken out student names and so on, but you're looking at details of the sorts of dashboards that our mentors have in front of them every single day. We're looking at students, we're looking at who recently on the left-hand side has had extension rates, as in there's been an assignment that's upcoming, they've asked for an extension, which is fine every now and then because we all know that life happens. But when it happens again and again and again, it's one of the indicators for us that there's at-risk behavior that's at play here. We also look at things like submission rates. So to what degree are our students actually submitting the assignments and completing the formative assessments that they need to be. This all rolls up into a view. And again, I've anonymized this. So on the left-hand column that you won't see would be student names. And you can see then on the top level, the different courses that students are enrolled for. What you're looking at here is basically a color coding that shows red, orange, green. What level of at-risk behavior are our learners indicating? Because this is the sort of targeted information that allows then our mentors to be able to say at a glance, whenever I open my dashboard every single morning, I can see which learners are illustrating at-risk behaviors, and I can start to focus my targeted attention around serving those customers. We know that our primary job is to make sure that we get our learners to academic success. And a lot of the behavioral indicators are the preconditions for learners to be able to actually succeed in their academics and get the appropriate grades. Again, here you can see the sorts of ongoing management and behavior monitoring that we're able to do for quite literally every single student. Now, that's absolutely important that we are able to monitor our customers and be able to craft our support methodologies around them. So I think that's one point that we must be quite clear on. There is the opportunity for all of us in all of the sectors that we use, in the majority of sectors that I imagine are represented here today, where your customers are engaging with your product in some sort of online format, you have the ability to track and monitor what they're doing and to craft your support methodologies, your customer service approaches around their illustrative behavior on your platform. This is a really, really key insight. The second key insight is that you have the same ability with your staff members to be able to zoom out and say, what are our staff members doing? Are they meeting their SLAs? Are they getting back to our students in time? In our case, are they, as an example, if a student submits an assignment on a Wednesday, have they marked it and have they provided rich feedback and submitted it back to the learner by the Friday? If that's an SLA, we need to make sure that SLA is under management. We then need the ability to make sure that we have the data at our fingertips to see whether this work is being done. And what you're looking at here is an example of our data monitoring dashboards for our staff performance. Now, there are a lot more levels of detail. I'm giving you just one small snapshot here, which really focuses on case management, as well as email management, as well as call management. But my strong encouragement to all of you here today is not just to think about tracking and monitoring your custom activity and crafting your support services around that, but also tracking and monitoring your staff activity and what they're doing, what they're not doing, because when you put those processes under management, you can ensure quality delivery at a very, very high level of scale. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Those are the main points that I wanted to share with you today. I really hope that this has been helpful. And if there are any questions, very happy to engage around those. Thanks so much.